The judge in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Today, he sentenced the three men in the killing of Arbery in Brunswick, Georgia, all of them facing life in prison. But the judge had to decide whether any of them deserved the chance at parole decades from now. The judge in court carefully choosing his words, sharing his own thoughts, what led to his decision. At one point, reminding the courtroom that Ahmaud Arbery ran from that truck for 5 minutes as they chased him. The judge telling the court he would stop talking himself for a full minute. There was silence. He then said that was just a fraction of the time that Arbery was chased. Travis McMichael, who fired the shot and killed Arbery, his father, Gregory McMichael, and their neighbor, William Roddy Bryan. Both Travis McMichael and his father were sentenced to life in prison without parole. And William Roddy Bryan, the neighbor who was with them, who shot this video, was the only one who the judge said showed any concern in the moments after that deadly shooting. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. The court hearing from Ahmaud Arbery's family, his sister, his father, and his mother, who said the men showed no leniency when they murdered her son, so they do not deserve leniency either. ABC's Steve Osunsami leading us off tonight from Georgia with what the judge said.
Inside the South Georgia courtroom, the families watching from their seats were praying as the judge began to read.
As to Travis McMichael. Mr. McMichael, the court sentences you as follows. Count 1, malice murder, life without the possibility of parole.
State law required the judge to hand the three men who murdered Ahmaud Arbery life sentences, and the only mercy he could show was to allow them to be eligible for parole after 30 years. But for Travis McMichael, who fired the fatal shot, and his father, Gregory, a former police officer, the judge refused parole. They will die in prison.
They chose to target my son because they didn't want him in their community. They chose to treat him differently than other people who frequently visited their community.
In a powerful moment, Judge Timothy Walmsley sat in silence for one of the 5 minutes that Ahmaud Arbery ran for his life. And he said that this piece of video helped make up his mind, seeing the son and his father turn their backs on the young black man who was dying in the street.
His death should force us to consider expanding our definition of what a neighbor may be and how we treat them. I believe that assuming the worst in others, we show our worst character.
Because he cooperated with investigators, the judge decided that 52-year-old William Roddy Bryan will be eligible for parole after serving 30 years. He recorded the video of the killing.
Mr. Bryan isn't the one who brought a gun. He was unarmed.
Outside the courthouse, friends and family of the victim let out cheers. Arbery's mother, who tearfully spoke in court, called today a victory for justice.
I sat in that courtroom for 5 weeks straight, but I knew that we would come out with a victory. Yes. I never doubted it.
And Steve, we know these three convicted killers also still face federal charges on civil rights violations. But that moment in the courtroom today when the judge described Ahmaud Arbery being chased for 5 minutes, the judge had the entire courtroom sitting in silence for that full minute, and his point was made with that silence.
It was a powerful way of putting you in the victim's shoes, and a reminder that he's being chased by men in trucks as he ran. And the judge pointed out that much of the reason why he was being chased had to do with assumptions based on color. That federal civil rights trial against these same three men begins exactly a month from tonight. David?
Steve Osunsami leading us off tonight from Georgia. Steve, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.